Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with the Mark Weber.
Dub them ease.
And we are back for another edition of The Onside Kick here on Most Valuable Podcast. I almost said the Primetime Podcast.
Nope.
That was earlier in the night. We're here for The Onside Kick. I'm mixing up podcasts. Last week, I wanted to call you Fellow Man-Child. That's the Rick and Johnny podcast or a Graphic Conversation. Today, I wanted to say the Primetime Podcast. All of these things are going through my head.
It's a late night.
It's a roller coaster of emotion, especially since we're talking NFL draft today. All draft topics next week. We're going to be talking draft all the way until next Thursday, where we get the NFL draft. And Mark, in this one, we're going to be looking at the Cleveland Browns. We're going to be looking at the Houston Texans. Yet again, I feel like we just talked about them 2 weeks ago. And then we're going to look at some overrated prospects that we see in the NFL draft. But Mark, we're going to get right into this one. The Cleveland Browns, we last week thought, hey, it's a no-brainer who you take. And the day we post part 1 of 3 of our 3.0 mock draft, check it out in the description if you have not already. We post that part 1. That day the Browns go, well, we got a decision to make. We might draft Myles Garrett, but we also like Mitch Trubisky. Mark, It's a no-brainer.
It is.
Right?
It is a no-brainer. And, you know, when I first saw this, and I just kind of thought to myself, this doesn't make sense. It has to be a smokescreen. Mm-hmm. It has to be the
Trying
Cleveland
to get someone
Browns.
to trade up.
Yeah, just drumming up some excitement, hoping that maybe San Francisco wants to take that one pick jump. Chicago, New York, whatever it might be, someone wants to trade the farm and get their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, here. Especially if maybe they have heard that some team out there really loves this kid and they really want him. So therefore they're saying, hey, you know, we like this Myles Garrett guy, but hey, we'll take him. Because Cleveland, they just did it last year trading back. Why not do it again? Trade back again. They still have a ton of needs. This just, to me, screamed of, we want somebody to make a jump. Please get on your phone and call us.
See, I saw it as the other way around. I was thinking, wow, are the Browns really that dumb? And then I thought to myself, oh, wait, they're the Browns. I'm sorry, Cleveland. You got the Cavaliers. But I looked at it and I went, why? Why would you even think about it? Because you are in a prime location right now. A prime location to take Myles Garrett at 1. And then if you really want a quarterback, if you don't like Brock the Cock-a-doodle-doo, if you do not like Cody Kessler, you can take a quarterback at 12.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have 4 to pick from. Mitch will probably be the first one off the board, as he'll probably go to the Jets if you don't take him at 1. And it's one of those things where I feel like Deshaun Watson can work. I'll take him, or if he gets taken,
he might be the first one taken.
He could be. Oh, man, if the Jets take him,
I think
and
him
then
to the Jets make more sense.
And then you get Trubisky at 12. It's like, why? Let's put it this way. Mitch has a better chance of falling to your 12th pick than Myles Garrett. Because if you do not draft Myles Garrett,
yeah,
Kyle Shanahan will say, thank you, Cleveland, he's mine.
One's a guarantee. The other one is well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some hope there. You know, and I do want to give some, I don't want to say credit to Mitchell here, because that's not what I'm doing. But I asked you kind of as a joke before the podcast started, if you could have J.J. Watt or you could have Peyton Manning, which one are you going to choose?
Well, Peyton Manning.
You're going to choose Peyton Manning. Yeah. So if you just go off of the fact of, I'm not saying this is Peyton Manning, I'm not saying this is J.J. Watt, but if you're just going for, would I rather have the next best quarterback or the next best defensive end pass rusher? I'm going to pick the quarterback. The quarterback is the more valuable position. Having a better quarterback will win you more games than having a better defensive end. But we don't know that about either one of these players. So unless rumor has it they have an astronomical grade on whoever, which that was said about Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that they have an astronomical grade on Garrett.
As they probably should. Unless they have that on Mitchell Trubisky here, they kind of have to go off of what they know. And what they know is that Myles Garrett is the better option. Right now, maybe not 5 years from now, maybe not 10 years from now. Maybe that's why they want to go a different route. I don't know. I still don't buy it. But what everything we know is right now, this guy is the better player. This guy will change the game for you because a quarterback is a better game changer. A quarterback is a better guy to win you games if he's that elite quarterback. But we don't know that yet. And that's what makes this tough. And Cleveland has to know they can't just try and spin the quarterback carousel over and over again. When they get that quarterback, they have to hit, and they have to hit the home run.
I have a weird feeling that if let's put it this way, if the Browns do take a quarterback or take Trubisky with that first overall pick, first off, it's going to send the next few picks. We're going to laugh, and it's going to send the next few picks into a whirlwind of what's going on. Because think about this. If they go Trubisky, then the Niners will most likely go Myles Garrett. Then that changes things for the Bears. Do the Bears take the two safeties? Or do they say, well, shit, Jonathan Allen's probably there. We could take him. That throws off theirs. The Jaguars might set things straight with, okay, we're still going to go safety, but it knocks everybody back one. And the thing that I'm thinking is the draft that I thought with the Browns, that if they drafted Trubisky, and I'm not comparing Trubisky to this quarterback, but I'm saying for at least his rookie season, because honestly, Trubisky's a guy where I don't know how good he'll be as a rookie, and that's scary for a quarterback.
Yeah.
It would be like when they drafted Tim Couch. And the reason why is you want to know some of the name. They're in the top 10 alone. There were how many? There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Pro Bowlers. 8 if we're going top 11. To me, 2 busts in the 1999 draft. Tim Couch being one, Achilles Smith being the other. You want to know some of the other players that the Browns passed up that year?
Let's hear it.
In the top 10 alone, Donovan McNabb went to the Eagles. Edgerrin James went to the Colts. Ricky Williams went to the Saints. Torrey Holt to the Rams. Champ Bailey to the Redskins. David Boston to the Cardinals. Chris McAllister to the Ravens, and Dante Rollout Culpepper going to my Minnesota Vikings. I know it's one of those things where it's like, Ricky, there were a few quarterbacks in there and there wasn't really a pass rusher, so it doesn't fit exactly, but that's what it would be like to me. You passed up the game changer, the franchise on your defense for a quarterback that could he be the franchise guy? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that your example is missing, too, is that if any of those players went to Cleveland, they probably would have had the Cleveland curse and therefore been terrible. But, it's just one of those things where you're going to get the surefire defensive player who, sure, he might not win you as many games as a surefire quarterback is going to win you, but you're going to build a better team that way.
I got an example for you. 2002 draft. Do you know who the top 2 picks were?
God, that was a long time ago.
The first one was by the Texans. Do you have a guess of who it may be? His brother's in the league right now.
Oh, we're talking about a Carr.
David Carr. Do you know who went to the Panthers right after him?
I do not remember.
He played for your
Julius
team.
Peppers.
Julius Peppers.
That's right. That would have been his year.
Passed up a pass rusher at number 1.
Yeah.
To go with David Carr and look at Julius Peppers. We're not talking about him where he's like, we're not talking in the same breath as like a Ray Lewis.
No.
But I would say he had a very good career. And even saying that, I feel like I'm slapping him in the face. Julius Peppers, or Julius Jardinere Peppers, as we used to call him back in the day here on the onside kick. Pro Bowler. Pro Bowl career. David Carr, not doing so great.
No,
probably sitting at home right now.
He's watching his brother.
He's watching his brother play.
So that's good.
That would be the perfect comparison. You're taking David Carr. Well, I don't want to compare Trubisky to Carr because I don't know what he's going to. But right now I see that'd be like taking Carr over
potentially.
Peppers. Yeah.
But at the same time, we can sit there and there's probably an example of this out there where it could be they ended up drafting Andrew Luck as opposed to name your bust at defensive end.
Robert Griffin III.
Yeah.
That's even a bust in itself.
You really don't know what it's going to be, and that's what the draft is. So I don't want people, of course, to yell at us too much in the comment section. Although I think we're going to be safe by saying you should draft Garrett here. But, it comes down to this. Their scouts got to do what they got to do. Scouts got to scout, right? And if their scouts are telling their GM, no, I'm telling you, Mitchell Trubisky is the next Tom Brady at number 1 overall instead of, the 6th round. But this is the next GOAT. He will be the GOAT. He will be better than Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, John Elway. Take your pick of whatever quarterback you like the best. He's going to be better than all of that. Myles Garrett, I'm not so sure on that guy. I'm not sold on him. Or maybe they're both amazing, but Mitchell Trubisky is just a tiny bit better.
2010, it happened again, except instead of a pass rusher, it was an interior lineman when the Rams selected somebody out of Oklahoma. Who did they select, Mark?
That's your boy,
Sam Bradford.
Sammy Bradford.
And they passed up the dirtiest player in football. Played for the Detroit Lions.
Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh.
I was immediately going to think of Randy Gregory for a second.
No, not Randy Gregory.
But I was like, that doesn't add up.
Or what's his face? I can't even remember. That used to play for the Cowboys as well. That's why doesn't make Ndamukong Suh. Another example of, hey, let's take a quarterback. Man, that defensive player that went right after him was pretty damn good.
He was, but with Ndamukong Suh, I would think, even though he's good, I would consider that a bullet dodged.
Let's be honest, though. Sam Bradford, though, it wasn't because of skill. It's because of injury.
Yeah.
Why we're looking back at that, too.
I just think that, when it comes down to this, if the Cleveland Browns really think that Mitchell's the answer...
You say go for it?
I'll laugh at them, but I'll at least say... Maybe you know something. I forget who was it. I think it was Chip Kelly. I used to say that of. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop because he did things that I thought were so weird that I figured he knows something that I don't. And I'm just going to wait for when it all comes together. It happened to never come together, and he gets fired multiple times.
I'll say this. If it was me in the room, I'm going Myles Garrett all day.
All day, every day.
If you gave me 10 opportunities, I would take Myles Garrett every single time. And the reason why is unless I know that this guy is going to step in from day one and compete and make my team better, then draft him. But Trubisky, I think if you draft him number 1, you'll have to start him, but I think he should sit. And then, you're going to sit him behind Cody Kessler? No, that ain't going to fly. Whereas Myles Garrett can come in, make an immediate impact on that defense. And it's not like Cody Kessler did a bad job last year.
No.
Cody Kessler did a pretty decent job.
When he had the chance.
And I'm looking at it, I'm going, I want to see what he can do in year 2. And then if you don't like him after year 2, I know that it's all hypotheticals and you're going, well, Ricky, there's no guarantee. Like I just talked about on the Primetime podcast today, we talked about Sam Darnold, who's probably going to be the number 1. We're all talking number 1 pick 2018.
Sure, who knows?
The one thing I did throw out in the Primetime podcast.
People thought Chad Kelly might be number 1 overall.
Well, I'm going to throw this out. His numbers, except for the passing yards, touchdowns, INTs, quarterback rating, almost identical to Matt Barkley's junior season. Look what happened to Matt Barkley his senior year. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Enjoying a nice life in the Bay.
We don't know what's exactly going to happen, but if he balls out like he did last year, Sam Darnold's going to be the number 1 pick, and guess where Cleveland's probably going to be? Right up there to get him. Could you imagine?
They'll at least get 1 win this year.
Let's play this what-if game. You get Myles Garrett number 1 this year. You get Sam Darnold number 1 next year. Boom, your offense and defense are set up with their franchise players. That's what I think.
Potentially, yeah.
And even if you're not number 1, Baker Mayfield, Mason Rudolph, I love the quarterback class a lot more next year than I do this year.
You say that every year. But Here's the thing, Ricky.
Not every year.
You said it last year that this was going to be a good quarterback. Oh, yeah. You were all about Watson last year.
I totally, honestly, though, I totally thought like Baker Mayfield and stuff were going to come out.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd stay for senior season.
They didn't want to go to Cleveland.
I thought Mason Rudolph was going to come out this year.
They didn't want to go to Cleveland, San Francisco, or Chicago. Those were the top 3 options.
Jake
there.
Browning, Lamar Action Jackson could come out next year. Ooh, it's going to be good.
I think that it comes down to this for Cleveland. They got to do what they think is best. But that quarterback situation is really muddy. Do you really want to add an inexperienced rookie to it? And I add inexperienced rookie on purpose because he didn't have much of a college career. Yeah. So, do you really want to add one thing? Because Brock the Cock is there, and yes, he is going to compete for a job. People don't think that he's just sitting on the bench or they're going to cut him any day now. They want him on that team to at least see. Cody Kessler is there. There are free agents available that they could bring into camp if they don't like one of the guys that they see. We have Mahomes maybe, if it's not Trubisky, if it's not Watson. Is it going to be Webb? Which one of these quarterbacks are they going to go for? There will be somebody from the draft. I just think you're better taking a mid-round guy because it's really muddy.
And the one thing I just thought of, and I can't remember in my head, and I apologize to everyone if I'm mistaking it, but I want to say it was a week or two ago when I was home for lunch from work one day. I was watching NFL Live, and they were doing like weird comparisons between like players at the combine. And I want to say measurable-wise and then cone drill-wise, I want to say that Trubisky mapped up to Andy Dalton. I want to say that. Now, if that is the case, then I can see why Cleveland might like him. Because who did Hugh Jackson have some success with in Cincy?
The Red
Andy
Rocket.
Dalton. So if he's thinking, hey, this kid's kind of like Andy Dalton, has the same build, I can do the same things with him, I can see why you might want to draft him. I just think number one's the wrong place to do it.
Yeah,
I think it's the wrong place. However, it's one of those flip side coins of you have to decide what's more beneficial to your team, pass rushing or another quarterback. I say another because they have Kessler and they have Brock the Cock, or taking Myles Garrett, probably letting Trubisky go to the Jets because I don't think he gets past the Jets because there have also been rumors that the Jets really like him as well. And then maybe at 12, taking a Deshaun Watson if he's there. I don't think Trubisky is the right choice. I think that would be a reach, and it would be one of those things where I said it before the podcast. I absolutely love how Myles Garrett came out and said, I'm warning the Cleveland Browns because if you do not draft me number one, I will punish your team. Punish your team. And the only thing that makes me sad about that phrase is that the Ravens, Steelers, or Bengals are not drafting two. That's the only thing that makes me sad about that, is because after hearing him say that, if they do pass on him, I want him to play for the division.
Yeah.
I want him to go in the division because I want to see him cash in on those remarks.
Yeah. And he has to, because it'll come up. It'll definitely come up.
But just kind of to wrap everything up, what are your final thoughts on this?
Draft Garrett, no questions asked.
That's it, just draft Garrett?
It's not even really a discussion that needs to be had. And you know what? On Thursday...
Mark's like, we just wasted about 20 minutes of your time. I'm sorry.
Right. Sorry, guys. On Thursday, they're going to use 8 or 9 minutes, to make this decision that they've already made. I do not believe that they don't already know they're taking Myles Garrett. I think they're just playing the
You think it's a trade play?
I think it's a trade play, but I also think they might be playing a little bit of the what if game because, they're sitting there bored in the scouting room and they're like, oh, what are we going to do? What would happen if we took Mitch Trubisky? I don't know. Let's play that game.
What if we did? What if we didn't?
It's like they have multiple save files, and they're like, oh, let's go back and let's change it and see if we draft this guy in Madden instead.
And the one thing I cannot wait for is when we do get the NFL schedules, because it's going to be one of those things. And, of course, it's a whole what if kind of a game. And honestly, I'm looking at footballschedules.com. I don't even know if this is 100% correct, but I do not see the Browns on there. I really will be depressed if Myles Garrett doesn't get to play the Browns if they don't draft him. I will honestly be depressed because I will want to see that. But I'm with you. Draft Garrett, figure out your quarterback later. There are a ton of other quarterbacks that you can maybe get, like Dave said in one of his draft videos, maybe you get someone late and you hit the home run like Dak Prescott. You never know. You don't have to take quarterback number one if he's not the surefire thing like Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady was later. But like Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and you for sure know they are going to be the franchise guy. But as always, I want you guys to chime in down below if you have not already. Who would you take? Why would you take them? Who should the Browns take? Let us know down below in the comment section. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the onside kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on, click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.